Welcome back, everyone, and especially you kindergarten. Very excited also to work with you not only in the making of this, but the painting of your piggy bank. So a very exciting day today. We're going to actually paint this together, and I'll show you how we do it. And we're going to need a large brush, and we'll have different paint that I've given you. And if those of you who are actually following along, you're going to need some acrylic paint or even tempera paint will work for this. You'll find that painting on the paper is excellent. So it's one of my favorite things to do is to paint. And so let's get started. So let's put our piggy bank aside and talk about color for a little bit. Now, the great thing about color is that it's a way to evaluate a spectrum of light. So the best way to do that is on a color wheel like this. And so one of the first things you want to do when you're painting your pig is ask yourself, what color do you want it to be? For the most part, a base coat is mostly the color you want your pig to be. And this one stands out for me. So I'm going to take blue and a little bit of green. And green, as you know, is mixed with blue and a lot of yellow, or in this case, a lot more blue than yellow, and white added to that to make it light. Otherwise, it might be too dark depending on how dark your green is. So we'll get going on that. So the first thing we're going to do is make the base coat. So I have a really dark green right here, and I have some white that I'm going to add to it. And so you. And I'm going to add, with my big brush, I'm going to add white to this to make it a little lighter. You can see that will lighten it up. Now lightening up a color like that, making it lighter, is called a tint. I'm going to add a little more yellow to it just to liven it up a bit. And so I'm going to have a green pig. And then I want you to use the pounce method. You're literally going to get inside, paint from inside out, and getting all those nooks and crannies, just like that. My next step is to look at the color wheel again. And when we look at it, we chose this greenish blue here. And so the opposite of it would be a red-orange. So I'm going to mix some red and orange together with white to create the opposite. And I want to make polka dots. So I'll make polka dots on my piggy bank, and those polka dots will come right out and look very good. So I'm going to take some red. Also, I'm mixing on, it looks like I'm mixing right on the art table, but actually this is a clear blue plastic. So I'm going to take some red right here, and you could use instead of plastic, you could use like a paper plate or something like that. So that's pretty good right there, but I want to add a little bit of orange to it and liven that up quite a bit like that. And then mix that all together, and I'm trying to, that's a very bright orange, isn't it? So I'm going to add more red to it. And it's really wonderful painting with a loaded brush. So now I'm going to paint my polka dots. step in painting our pig is to look at the color wheel again. And we chose this color to start, which has a blue, green. The opposite would be an orange, red, or a red, orange. A double opposite would be these two colors. So I could either choose to outline the shapes in yellow or violet because it's a double opposite from these two colors. So whenever you crisscross, this is called double opposites. And we could use double opposites, and I think I'll use violet. We could use double opposites to bring out color and to soften edges. So what I've done is I've created a violet, and I'm just going to go around all my shapes like that. I've mixed up the colors that I'm going to need, which is red and blue, to create this violet that I have. And what that does is it really adds to my artwork. And I'm using a smaller brush, not as big, and I'm making very simple strokes, not trying to be too fussy with it, just being really quite painterly today. In finishing our pig, we're going to want to do a couple of things, and this is for adults to do. You're going to want to put a slit on the top where the money goes in, and these are just two lines cut close together, and you want to cut that way and then kind of fish it out toward you if you can, as much as you can. This takes a little doing. And you're cutting that piece off there. Always watching your fingers. You know, make it as big as a half dollar anyway, which is the biggest coin out there. And then, to get the money out at some point, you'll want to do a plug. So I usually do the plug by tracing like that. And this is the plug right here. And I usually kind of be really careful cutting this one out. Make it just a little tiny bit smaller than the hole I made. Really patient, don't rush this part. And then you take your plug and you can put your plug in. And you can see that fits pretty good. You can always touch up things too. If you need to touch up anything, you can. You can paint this as well. But since this kind of goes with my design, I'm going to leave it. And then we have googly eyes that we can add. So these googly eyes, I'm going to get two about the same size. These will be your eyes. You'll need a glue gun. And what I'm going to do is put one right here, and I'm going to put one right here, just like that. Oh yes, and now he has eyes. Isn't that great? Looking right at you. All right, and the final thing I'm going to do is the tail. Now the tail, I'm going to actually use this. I'm going to wind it around my finger like this. And very gently take it off. And I'm going to hide the plug by putting a lot of glue on the outside, the inside of the outside of the plug. So many terms, I'll tell you, with art. It's so much like life. Then I'm going to pull it all out and have a little oinky tail to go along with it. And I chose green because I have so much blue-green. So I'm not sure what I gave you, but try to incorporate what you have into your pig, and there we go. Well, it's been wonderful working with you today. We made an excellent pig together. We painted and also added attachments. And remember, I'd love to see what you did, so email me a photograph of your artwork at michael.vermette@ias.bie.edu. And please remember to like and friend and also subscribe, and you'll get any other videos that I'm doing. But as for today, like this pig behind us, we made our own, and you make your own. I can't wait to see what you do. Have a great day.